new investigation into shark populations in the waters off Australia has discovered that there are two distinct species of great white shark, one to the east and one to the west of Bass Strait. This was discovered by tagging large numbers of sharks in the coastal waters all round Australia. Rather to the investigators' surprise, they found that while sharks from the east side certainly travelled to the west side of the continent and vice versa, they always returned to their home areas to breed. The two types of shark were found to have a distinct genetic makeup, indicating that interbreeding has not taken place. The implication of these research findings is that sharks may be more susceptible to changes in local marine environments than had previously been thought. The Beehive is the common name for the executive wing of the New Zealand Parliament buildings, so called because its shape is very much like a traditional woven beehive. It's 10 stories high, with the levels becoming incrementally smaller the higher up they are. Scottish architect Sir Basil Spence did the original conceptual design in 1964, but the detailed design of the building was by the Ministry of Works, and they carried it through to fruition. It was opened by the Queen in 1977. When it was built, it was supposed to embody the spirit of New Zealand as a nation, but it's never really had that recognition in the way that buildings like, say, the Sydney Opera House have had. In a way, I suppose the Beehive was, for a long time, seen as an unfortunate hangover from the 1960s, but time has passed to the point where people's feelings about it have gone through a kind of ironic celebration to real appreciation now.
This year, we are planning to use a different type of assessment on this module. In the past, students were required to complete 2 long written assignments and also to do a presentation on a subject of their own choice. We've decided to ask you to write 4 shorter pieces of written coursework this year. We're also going to be more prescriptive about what you focus on in your presentation. This is because previously many students lost marks unnecessarily simply because
Land animals move easily through air because air does not slow them down. Sea creatures, on the other hand, have to move through water, which is hundreds of times thicker than air. A sea animal has to push itself through water in order to move. Sea animals use many different ways to swim, creep, or glide through water. Fish are able to swim by bending their bodies into waves. They have flattened fins and tails that push against the water like oar blades, converting their body waves into forward movement. The size of a fish's tail contributes to its swimming speed. Small tail fins are found in slow swimmers like the eel. The medium-sized tail of the bass is linked with a medium to fast swimming speed. Long, pointed tail lobes like those on the marlin are found only on fast.
Happy New Year! And if you've been away from work for a few days, you deserve some time off. After all, you've traveled far, even if you just stayed at home. According to NASA, just by being on the planet Earth in the last year, you zipped about 584 million miles around the sun at an average speed of about 67,000 miles per hour. Hey, I wasn't speeding in my inertial reference frame. Of course, the trip was not a perfect circle. As Kepler showed, the Earth's orbit is an ellipse, with the sun at one of the 2 focal points. He also figured out the planet goes faster when it's at perihelion, nearer the sun, than when it's at aphelion, its furthest distance, which would explain why summer seems to zip by, except that the seasons are a function of the tilt of the Earth's axis, not its different distances from the sun. And the Earth rotated 365.25 times during its sweep around the sun. The trip took 8,766 hours, or 525,960 minutes, or 31,557,600 seconds.
Humans can recognize each other by voice alone. I sound different from other
60-second
science reporters, for example. In fact, lots of non-human animals of all types use voices to distinguish familiar individuals, including frogs, fish, lemurs, and penguins. And that unique audio fingerprint extends to a sound you may have heard in the forest on occasion: the drumming of a woodpecker. Researchers recorded multiple drum rolls from 41 great spotted woodpeckers, colorful red, white, and black birds living in Polish forests. They then used audio software to analyze them, and they found that the length of the drum rolls and the spacing between beats varied enough from bird to bird to tell the woodpeckers apart by drumming alone. The study's in the journal PLOS One. The scientists say this fact might be useful to woodpeckers in identifying each other, and to conservation biologists trying to tease one bird from another in a recording, for example, to count individuals in a given area. The bird's headbanging could thus do away with that research headache.
Sleep. There's nothing better than a nice, long, uninterrupted... I can't sleep when there's... But you ever notice noise doesn't wake everyone? Now scientists have a better idea why. Because sound sleepers show a certain brain rhythm when they doze. Findings published in the journal Current Biology. To study the brain waves of a good night's sleep, scientists invited volunteers to snooze in the lab. While the subjects caught some Z's, the researchers monitored their brain activity. They then subjected the sleepers to more, and they found that those who were able to slumber straight through all the showed more short bursts of faster brain waves. This activity, the scientists say, is the brain's way of blocking out the and the while you're trying to rest. The scientists don't yet know of any way to boost those sleep-saving brainwaves, so until then, shut the door, make sure the late show's on a timer, and try to have sweet dreams.
The program must be conducted in abidance with general regulations. The blue whale is the largest animal that ever lived.
That's ever lived. Oh, yeah.
Free campus tour runs daily during summer for prospective students.
A good academic paper should be clear.
Check result. 이제 다음 주가 월요일에 시험 져가지고 이 APE 유니 사이트 사용해서 그 시험처럼 목 테스트를 요즘 매일 일주일 전에 매일 이렇게 치고 있고요. 따로 공부는 안 하는데 이렇게 치고 나면 대본 원래 스크립트가 나오고 밑에 API 여기 AI가 점수 매긴 결과가 나중에 나올 겁니다. 오늘 시험 치면서 몰랐던 단어 한번 공부해 보도록 할 거고요. 그럼 오늘 마무리는 여기까지 하겠습니다. 안녕.